Hello, today we are going to configure RDP to Hyper-V VM from the host on the same LAN. There are times when you want to run multiple VMs on your expensive hardware and harness the power of it from the comfort of your desk using a laptop. And unless you have an external switch configured, IP of your VM is visible to Hyper-V host and VMs on the same switch only. And although it is not a prerequisite, I would recommend you to use the internal switch with netting instead of default switch for this tutorial. If you do not know how to create such a switch, I have linked video below just to do that. The first thing I want to test is connection on RDP port from the Hyper-V host itself, for which I need to find out IP address of my VM. So let's go ahead and do that. I have already connected to my VM. I will log in and ipconfig eth0, and there we have the IP address of my host is 9.9.9.10. So let's go back to the Hyper-V host, test net connection. Computer name will be IP address 9.9.9.10, port 3389. I'm expecting this to fail. There we go. We already have a warning saying it has failed. So let's go ahead and start to configure our XRDP instance at this moment. XRDP.ini. The line I'm going to add here is TCP://:3389. What does it mean is make XRDP available on port 3389 over TCP for all the IPv4 addresses on this particular VM. I'll save and restart XRDP, restart XRDP. Yep, it is restarted. Let's go ahead and test connection again. This time I'm expecting it to work, and success. Now we can connect to VM IP on port 3389 over TCP. Next, we need to enable access from external machine on the same LAN. The answer to this is with a combination of two things. 1. Port forwarding. 2. Host and guest firewall rules. So what you need to achieve this is a PowerShell terminal running as administrator, which I already have on my screen here, and a script to set up port forwarding and firewall, for which link is provided below. The advantage is you can use the same script to delete all configuration if you choose to. So let's go ahead and execute that script. It's called not pro, it's called port forward. The listen address is IP address of my Hyper-V host, which is 192.168.0.224. Listen port, it could be anything. I am choosing port 4489. Destination address is IP address of my VM 9.9.9.10, and destination port is 3389, which is RDP port. There we go, that part is done. Let's go ahead and test connectivity on port 4489 from the host itself. So this time my computer name is going to be 192.168.0.224, which is once again IP address of the Hyper-V host itself, and port 4489. I'm expecting this to be successful. Might take a little longer. There we go, it is successful and connected. So now let's go ahead and add this to my RDP client. 192.168.0.224:4489. I've already configured user here, so I will just go ahead and add this. And before I connect, actually I would like to log out from my VM The reason is XRDP doesn't really like multiple session coming in for the same user. So there we go, we have closed this session, and now let's try to take RDP session here. It is connecting, and there we go, we are done. Before I conclude this video, I would like to remind you that please do not consider this over internet, and it is insecure. With this note, it brings to end of this short tutorial. Keep coding.